Another recap, divisional round recap, and I'll be doing the other one in a minute. But I want to get this off real quick. Of course, the Denver Broncos, as we all know, has beaten from last night as the Broncos have defeated the Buffalo Bills 33-30. And late in the fourth quarter, Bo Nix ended up throwing a 39-yard pass to Marvin Mims in the end zone after the Buffalo Bills went down in the third quarter, scored a touchdown to cut the lead to 6, and also took the early lead in the fourth quarter. Both teams struggling to score and put points on the board earlier on in the fourth quarter and in overtime. The Buffalo Bills had scored a late field goal to get the lead up to 4. The Broncos had like three straight 3-and-outs. But then late in the fourth quarter, Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos offense was going to get down the field after a costly turnover by Josh Allen. After one of 4 costly turnovers from Josh Allen, and they was going to go down there and score to tie the game up. And in overtime, as the Broncos had the first possession, end up stalling that drive, and they end up getting stopped. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills got the ball back inside of their own 8-yard line, went down the field. He tries to throw a 40-some yard pass. Brandon Cooks did not have control possession of the ball, and so it went over to the Broncos as Jalen McMillan came in and picked the ball off from Brandon Cooks as it rolled over into his lap and ended up going out and intercepted. And as the Denver Broncos went down the field in 60-some yards, and 53 yards was cost by costly penalties from the Buffalo Bills cornerbacks, led by the way of Taron Johnson, and a 27-yard penalty. It was going to be a 38-yard penalty, from Tre'Davious White. He was complaining to the officiating after he thought it was a poor judgment call, and it put the Denver Broncos inside of the Bills' 6-yard line, and they was able to get a 24-yard field goal from Will Lutz in order to win the game. But before, let me get you guys back to the earlier parts of the game. Josh Allen is 0-7 in regular season games and in overtime, as far as in overtime goes, and he's 0-3 in the postseason in overtime. He has not won a postseason game in overtime, has not won a regular season nor postseason game the last stretch and month of the season in overtime, being 0-7. And those costly turnovers, the one scramble where they end up having to try to go down the field after the Broncos score, after the Broncos scored a late touchdown in the second quarter, led by the way by Bo Nix, and Josh Allen and the Bills got the ball back after the opening kickoff. He tries to go in and scramble, tries to do a scramble because he couldn't find anybody. It was man coverage, and so he tries to scramble, ends up getting fumbled, recovered by a key number 26, and the Broncos end up getting the ball back inside to end up getting a 50-yard field goal from Will Lutz to put the lead up by 10 points before halftime, 20-10, and the game went on from there. Just the costly turnovers from Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, an early fumble by James Cook, which gave the Broncos the lead. Those are the things that you cannot do in the postseason if you're the Buffalo Bills, is turn the football over constantly. And also, you cannot miss throws. I mean, it was several times where Josh Allen was protected, and even if he felt the rush coming from Cooper or Nick Bonito, or even up the middle with another guy, Allen, the big defensive lineman, number 99, coming in his direction, Josh just felt some sort of kind of rush, a bull rush coming, and so he let go of the release of the ball too fast, too early, too soon, and guys was not able to catch the ball. Now, granted, they didn't have the best roster construction this season, and unfortunately, Shavers, Gabe Davis, and several others went down before this divisional game came on, and so that also did not help any matters, which caused the Bills to really be low in depth on receivers. They only had 3 active receivers that was in the game on the roster, So it was mainly using the tight ends, whether it be Dawson Knox or Dalton Kincaid, to try to help them out in the receiving game because they really didn't have no receiving game. And also, they didn't have no open available receivers besides Khalil Shakir, Brandon Cooks, and Keon Coleman. I mean, they end up getting McCole Harmon out there, but McCole Harmon, again, just activated off the roster, just picked up off of the streets like 4 weeks in before the regular season, so he really didn't have enough time to really get gelled in and really get focused and in tune in with the offense. So that's another reason why the Bills had a lot of problems in this game, because the timing, the lack of chemistry, and also Josh Allen felt like he had to force the ball when literally you had a guy like James Cook who had 19 carries for over 117 yards. They're close to 120 yards. And you did not give the ball to him because he felt like he was having to do so much. And also, Josh Allen himself had 66 rushing yards on 12 carries. I don't know why you just did not run the football enough in the game. Now, granted, the Broncos was gonna chip down, and it was gonna be able to focus on the end defensively. But I just did not understand, if you're the Bills, why you didn't run the football enough. I just didn't get it, because the Broncos like to play a lot of. The Broncos like to play a whole lot of man coverage, and it's gonna be hard for you to get the ball down the field, especially when a defense like this plays man coverage so much. And they like to mix in with a little bit of man zone, and they like to pressure receivers 2 to 3 yards deep, deep up upon them. So you're not going to be able to get those kind of scramble drills or those kind of scramble plays and those kind of deep pass plays that you would hope for. You got one of Dalton Kincaid, because Kincaid was guarded by a corner in Surtain, which mainly you need to really be guarded by a free safety and a corner to have a double team or even sometimes a triple team to take him off. But they didn't do that. They just left it in a man zone coverage, so left him one-on-one, because he was just guarding, and because he ended up running an overlay on the play if you're the Broncos. But let me just say this, I was a little bit wrong about Bo Nix, trusting him in the postseason, and I can just tell you he proved me wrong in the postseason, because he played well. Granted, there was a lot of throws that it could have been better for him. Let me just look at this. Bo Nix actually played quite well, despite the one turnover. But he actually led the team with 29 rush yards. He had 279 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 26 of 46. So he actually did play well enough for them to get involved and have them win the game. And like I said, the Bills, although they had more total yards and yards per play and everything, and they were efficient on third down, the Broncos defense was able to get timely stops, and they were able to force 5 turnovers on a juggernaut and a fast pace and heavy footing of the Buffalo Bills offense. And they was able to score in a timely manner. The Broncos were able to score in a timely manner after the Bills was able to put a lot of points on the board. They were able to go up by 4 in the remainder of the fourth quarter. So the thing is, in my opinion, both teams should feel really proud of what they've done. The Broncos definitely should be feeling really proud of what they've done, because they accomplished a lot. The teams was not expecting them. A lot of media critics and a lot of pundits and even the fans, at the time, weren't even expecting them to get the number 1 seed. But they was able to get the number 1 seed, and Bo Nix was able to prove a lot of people wrong. He had a lot of guts and had a lot of moxie. And I think next year, when the stock comes, depending on him being available for next season or not, because he's pretty much going to be out because he suffered a fractured bone in his right ankle, when it's going to be having surgery effective this week on Tuesday. It's going to be Tuesday of next week, which will put him out for the remainder of the postseason, remainder of the playoffs. So Jarrett Stidham is going to be involved in that, taking on that role as the starting quarterback role, and they only picked up Sam Ehlinger, who used to play for the Indianapolis Colts. So that's who's going to be in there for backing up in filling in place of what Bo Nix was able to do. And that's going to be a really tough outing for the Broncos. I don't know how they're going to play with that kind of offensive backup, with Jarrett Stidham. And they don't really run the ball as well. They don't really run the ball as well, in my opinion. And so it puts a lot of pressure and a lot of onus on that offense, and mainly Jarrett Stidham. They're gonna have to find a way to run with McLaughlin and R.J. Harvey. They're gonna have to find a way to run the ball efficiently and effectively. Because if they don't, it's gonna be a long day for them. It's gonna be a long day for the Broncos next week if they have to have Jarrett Stidham sitting there and drop back, because that Texans defense could tee off, and definitely the New England Patriots defense can tee off. So it's gonna be a long, long day for the Denver Broncos if they don't find ways to get their offense going. And their defense is gonna have to find a way to make stops. A lot of stops in order for their offense to get short field and short possessions. But all right, guys, that is all I got to say about in this one. I'm gonna be getting on out of here because I'm gonna have to do the Seahawks and the 49ers recap, because that game was pretty much a absolute destruction right there. But yeah, once I'll begin to talk more about it. But yeah, I was wrong about Bo Nix and the Broncos. Well, more or less wrong about Bo Nix, him having to carry the team in the fourth quarter, because he did his thing. He did it. He did his job, and pretty much put the game upon himself to carry us. This is his eighth fourth quarter comeback in postseason, eighth game winning quarter comeback in the fourth quarter in the regular season and post overtime. So yeah, this is a game where you got to give him the credit where the credit is due. But as far as I'm concerned, it's gonna be a long play ride home for the Bills. It's gonna be a long play ride home for Josh Allen, and that's pretty much all I got to say about in this one. But all right, guys, I'm gonna get on out of here. Yep, appreciate y'all. I'm out. Peace.